Hey guys, Sublord here, back in with another action figure review, and as per tradition here at Overlord Productions, it is Christmas Day, so today we are going to be taking a look at the Figura Obscura Mouse King from the Nutcracker, brought to us by the fine folks over at Horsemen Studios, despite the fact that I feel very much like the Meister Burger from the Rankin Bass special, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, because Four Horsemen, in true Four Horsemen fashion, sent out an email the day before this guy came out that read, and I quote, "A present from Figura Obscura." My first thought was, oh, sweet, we're going to get the Ghost Christmas present from A Christmas Carol, had this awesome setup plan and everything. And then the Mouse King went up. And I couldn't help but feel bamboozled by the fine folks over at Four Horsemen Studios because, well, very much like the mall Santa in the movie Elf, they sat on a throne of lies. And their little teaser had absolutely nothing to do with this figure. So, I don't know what's up with that. But I do have a hunch that the reason we did not get Christmas present yet is because if you remember Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, you know that under the Ghost of Christmas Present's robes, as suggestive as that might seem, there are two kids literally clinging to his legs. One of them is Ignorance, a boy, and the other one is Want, a girl. And at this current time, Four Horsemen have not finished developing the tooling for their imp scale body, which is smaller than a goblin. For those of you wondering how big that is, perfect for like a child, I guess, especially one that could hide beneath a, we'll say, brute to ogre scale body figure's robes. And it's because of that that I think we got this guy instead, who also happens to have some new tooling himself. So before I get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all the Mouse King has to offer. Starting off with a kind of a quasi-mini comic of the Nutcracker story. And it is like the whole thing, man. So I don't expect us to get an actual Nutcracker figure, but I've been wrong about things before. I mean, just look at that whole thinking we were going to get Christmas present thing. You son of a monkey. That said, let's just address the elephant in the room, and I don't mean Ganesha. I mean this giant cluster of, I almost called them rats, but they might as well be rats, because I can't help but think of the song by the band Ghost, Rats. When I look at this piece, because it is covered in mouse heads. Because I guess the guy who wrote the Nutcracker, much like a lot of authors in the late 1800s, was also addicted to opioids, and that's probably why the Mouse King is depicted with 7 heads sometimes. That said, I don't know if he necessarily has a violator spine sticking out of his back right up to the horn there. I'm assuming this is a glued-in piece, but this is freaking awesome. If this wasn't such a cumbersome piece to deal with, I would totally display this, but it's just so massive and so effing bizarre. Like, what is going on here, man? This is nightmare fuel. I can tell you, my mom, God rest her soul, would have absolutely hated just this piece, let alone a freaking life-size, like, mouse rat guy. That said, we also get a pair of open hands, which unlike certain Four Horsemen releases as of late, I don't feel the need to heat the arms to pop these in and out, so that's cool. Also want to mention, there is a ball peg for this, but I am using it for something. What that is, you'll have to wait and see, I guess. Maybe tune into my Instagram. You might find it over there. But of course, since he is a king, he does have a scepter with an off-centered topper. Okay, there we go. I had it wrong, but whatever. It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. That said, you can just pop this off. It's just a little add-on piece to what we saw in the Necro Wave, and then All-Stars 6 Plus, is it? And I'm sure we'll see it many, many more times because it's a nice like handle piece. It's got the little pommel on the end there, which doesn't come off as far as I know. And then, of course, you got the swappable top there. A little less interesting, we got a sword. And that's your lot for accessories, other than what's already on him, because he does come packaged with this, again, absolute mess of a thing. He does have a special surprise, as these Christmas releases often do. I guess it's a little present from Four Horsemen Studio. I mean, he does cost like $83 after tax and shipping, so, you know, it's nice to get something extra, but I will save that to the end of the video, in case you don't want it spoiled. You know, unfortunately, some people have already had it spoiled. Don't be that guy next year and spoil the freaking surprise. Like, you know, put like a warning post before it or something. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but don't be that guy. You want to be that guy? Don't be that guy. You're not cool. You're just kind of a jerk. So, moving the Mouse King out of the way temporarily here, so that we can check out the packaging, which of course has really nice artwork. I don't think Nate Marsh is like the only one that does art anymore for Four Horsemen, but some really nice art on the back as well, and the sides. I know I'm showing this to you sideways, but sorry, my camera ain't 10 inches taller or whatever. And yeah, undo the flaps. And then you have this really nice backdrop here. But before we look at that, here's the side of the box there, and the side of the box on the other side. Pretty straightforward. You gotta kind of bend the cardboard a little bit. Set it flat against your YouTube studio, because we are professionals here. I don't know why I'm talking like a Hanna-Barbera or Rankin Bass reject, but you know, it's the holiday season, hoop-de-doop and dickory-dock and all that crap. Bringing in our Mouse King. I gotta tell you, as much as I like the Jersey Devil and tried to defend it, those kneecaps, man, those were a bugger. I'm gonna say that this is probably my Figura Obscura release of the year, and I don't think I've had a Christmas or holiday themed Figura Obscura be my number one since, gosh, Krampus. I think Krampus is the only one that has been my number one, because it was the only Krampus figure you could buy at the time. Other than maybe a Naughty or Nice one from BBTS or something. And then, of course, they went and made the red one, because I'm a sucker! I bought that too. But I might have to buy the variant of the Mouse King here, and then I can make like a Mouse Trooper, because truth be told, these heads don't fit on like dwarf neck pegs. And that sucks, because that like makes the most sense. At least for now, until we get more of these fur bodies and more mouse feet. I mean, this guy's a rat, truth be told, but you know what I mean. But I don't think it's been since Krampus since a Christmas Figura Obscura took the spot on my top 13, so that'll be interesting. I guess in hindsight, maybe Jacob Marley should have took it that year instead of Red Death, but I like the new body and whatnot. Is it just me, or am I getting serious like Professor Ratigan vibes from this guy? You remember The Great Mouse Detective? It's an underrated Disney movie that you should totally watch if you haven't seen it already. I'd like to see somebody make a custom Ratigan with this guy. I think that would be really cool. I've heard some people going to make a Ratatouille. Is his name Remy? Voiced by Patton Oswalt there. Or Stuart Little, which I thought was kind of funny, because I remember good old Stuart Little. Then there's Despero, but his ears are too small. Despero had like giant ears. I'd like to see like some flushed away customs with this guy. That movie with Hugh Jackman, Wolverine. But at any rate, as far as articulation on the Mouse King, or the Rat King, or the whatever goes, His head will look up and down on a double ball peg. Really good range out of that. You can look side to side as well. Can spin it so you can be like, ooh! What is this, tool time? His neck will shift back and forth a little bit, but not a lot. I have this thing pretty locked in. What I did is I have the cape tucked under the neck in the front. Then I have it pulled up over the neck fur in the back, so it looks like it's connected to this collar piece, which I did heat up and stretch as much as I could over this neck here. Is that a good idea? I think it looks cool like this. Everything is solid and locked down, and that's what I like in my Four Horsemen stuff. But if you don't want to do that, I get it. It's kind of a pain in the arse, but I think the end result is worth it. Just be careful with the cape. You don't like rip it trying to pull it up and over. I think it's fine. I think it's probably better off this way than just sitting on top of this, because there's a lot of jagged edges on this fur piece. I fear that you could tear it easier that way than, you know, pushing it like I did. But it definitely feels secure. Everything feels locked down. I like that a lot. And yeah, I'm smitten with how this is set up. He does have a bare torso, bare fur and everything. He does have a butterfly joint, which moves, but it's not, the range isn't impressive, but I didn't have to like monkey with it a ton either. It does wiggle back and forth, but it's not anything to write home about. At least not for me. Maybe I need to heat that up and monkey with it some more. The shoulders can of course move out all the way. They're just standard shoulders. You can see it's not popping any of my assembly off there because of how locked down it is, so that's cool. Bicep twist is really nice on this. It's like butter smooth but not loose or gummy. That is fantastic. Double elbow, I mean, you get like more than 90 with just the bottom joint, but if we had that upper joint, you do get a little bit more. So really good range out of that. I have to say, the articulation on this guy feels pretty tight, pretty solid. This double elbow is like the only one that's got a little looseness to it, but it's not even that loose. So there is that. He does have a diaphragm joint. It's nothing crazy. You can lean back as well as ooh, as well as forwards. But it's nothing to write home about. I will say I did have a bit of a tough time getting the waist to move at first. He does have rotation both in the diaphragm and in the waist. A little loosey-goosey in the waist, but it's understandable because I did have that crazy assembly on him all afternoon. But when I first got him, that was really tight, but I could probably go in with a hairdryer and fix that up. I just have to take this whole assembly off, and I really don't want to do that. His hips can kick out pretty well. Kick forward and back just fine. He's got a thigh cut. He's got like little pantaloons. That's funny. These might be the new dwarf pieces. Right here. This upper body, this whole thing, is Wendaje the Cackler, which is like that hyena-looking dude. So I'm hoping we don't have to wait like another year to get him, but probably shouldn't have said that. But these appear to be like the new dwarf pieces from the Rising Suns wave, which is shipping very, very soon. So expect reviews of those on the channel sometime next month, maybe, because I did order an all-in on that. We do have swivel at the ankle, the first ankle, as well as the knee, if I didn't mention that already. We do have a hinge, but holy bejesus. Definitely not loose, that's for sure. And we do have a hinge down here. Is this a ball hinge? It feels like a little ball hinge, but I don't want to turn that. That feels like a ball hinge. What is going on with that? Is that a... Oh, snafu. It is a ball hinge. Well, we are definitely Bill O'Reillying this because we just did that live. Holy Kawasaki Ninjas, Batman. I had no freaking clue that these had little ball hinges on them. Yep. Ain't that something? Huh. I guess that makes sense, so you can pop these out and put them on other figures, but that's cool. I dig that. I think I'm more impressed with, like, the ankle articulation that's not, like, totally new, as opposed to the double elbows there. That's really cool, man. I dig that. I like that they did that. So there's like no excuse if you can't get this guy to stand. He's definitely not a NECA gargoyle. That is faux show. That said, of course, he has a wired tail. Pretty much just rotates, and then it's bendy. I don't want to futz with that wire, though. But very cool figure. Very, very cool figure. I like him a lot. I think he's fantastic. It's the freaking Mouse King from the Nutcracker. Never thought I'd have like an actual figure of this dude. I have like a couple legit Nutcrackers of him though. In the Eel Christmas decor collection that I've amassed over the years. I think I have a collection of like 200 Nutcrackers or something. It's kind of ridiculous how many of those I have, but you know, it was a thing. And now it's not because it's kind of a pain in the butt to get them out. Maybe when I get my own place, I'll have shelves lining the walls covered in those things. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, we got the Mouse King. We can get him to stand up here. He's not hard to stand. It's just I'm filming. So, of course, he's going to be a little tipsy. It's going to be a little tipsy-whipsy. And or particular, as he is a king. A certain royalty can be like that. Especially if it's Prince John from the Disney Robin Hood movie. We're just dropping all the references. But I guess if I had one gripe, and it's kind of a nitpicky, stupid gripe, but it's still a gripe because it shouldn't be a thing in this day and age. I don't like that he doesn't have the right hinge for holding weapons. That sucks. Like, they have hands that can hold weapons the right way. Just give us that. That should be the standard. You know, fists, grabby claws and stuff, that's fine, but like grip hands, come on. Give us actual hinge joints for grip hands. Well, that being said, I think this review's gone on long enough, so I think it is time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here we have good old Mouse King alongside a couple other Christmas and or holiday themed Figura Obscuras from the fine folks over at Four Horsemen Studios. We have both the Ghost of Christmas Past as well as Jacob Marley from Charles Dickens's A Christmas Carol, because much like Bill over at Dorklair, I thought for sure we were gonna get the Ghost of Christmas Present. I guess we were wrong about that, but I already talked about that earlier. So I won't dwell on it here, but as you can see, while the Mouse King does have more dwarven style legs, he's still about the same height as a standard 1.0 and or 2.0 release because, well, he's got those handy dandy digitigrade legs. I know that's a difficult term for some people to enunciate, but thankfully I'm able to do it for you, so you don't have to. Getting these two out of the way very, very slowly. The whole reason they are posed up is because I took them off my very awesome Christmas display, so they would be handy for this video. So count your blessings. I don't demolish a display for nothing, you know. But bringing in our two regulars, we have Brother Mandibilith from Mythic Legions, as well as the infamous 11 Spawn. I guess in hindsight I should have got the Rat City Spawn, but it is what it is. And of course, good old Al Simmons towers over everyone. Unless you count the Mouse King's crown, that is. So with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and I'm not sure if it's my extreme bias towards nutcrackers as a decoration or even the story swaying my opinion on this figure, but I'm going to go out and say that this is definitely a contender for one of the top 13 action figures of the calendar year 2025, for those of you watching this in the future, at least for me, over, and this is the big one, over the Jersey Devil, which is surprising because the Jersey Devil is the devil and I'm the overlord. I like me some demons. Had lots of demons on the top 13s over the years. I've never had a giant gnarly rat king though. Mouse King. Let's face it, it's a rat. Look at this thing. Look at this guy. He is a creature, folks. That said, now that I'm done sucking this thing off, I made a promise. I'm going to keep that promise. Why don't we check out the secret surprise that's concealed in this plastic baggie here. And this is your last warning. If you don't want to see this, look away or turn off the video, because we have a beat to hell Nutcracker head. He's missing an eye, he's missing some teeth. Kind of looks like he's got a hole in his hat for something. Very, very cool. Oh, right up here. There's like a little notch in his hat. Probably because he got the old what for. Not just to his face, but to his hat. His hat didn't do anything wrong. What's up with that, man? But stay tuned for the Kickstarter for the tabletop RPG that Four Horsemen will be putting up in, I think, February. There is a figure with a base body that will work great for this head, so I will be backing it for that reason, and that reason alone, because, well, I got one of the video game figures, and there's no video game yet, is there? So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate it. Happy Holidays for those of you who don't. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.